Pro Football Focus released a list of the 101 best players in college football from this past season. And I'm going to put every single one of those players on the college football team closest to their high school and see who would be the new national champion. Looks like every single player from the top 10 of this list is going to be on a new college football team for this video. But Tanner isn't going to go through every player on the list, so I'm going to list all 101 players and add their new team, or for some lads, the same team, and tell you which colleges gained the most and who lost the most. And then we can start the new 2022-2023 college football season. Well, Nicky threw a hissy fit hearing Alabama will lose Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Brian Branch. Georgia also loses a ton with Brock Bowers, Jalen Carter, Stetson Bennett, Christopher Smith, Broderick Jones, goodness gracious, Darnell Washington, Javon Bullard, and Lad McConkey. They all say adios, man. That's a lot of people. And Ohio State got shafted with this as well, losing CJ Stroud, Marvin Harrison Jr., Paris Johnson Jr., Emeka Ibuka, Tommy Eichenberg, Luke Weipler, and DeJuan Jones. Getting to some happy campers, starting with the obvious Maryland, who hit the lottery with Caleb Williams, Blake Corum, Mohamed Ibrahim, Kobe Turner, Jordan Addison, Chop Robinson, and Olu Oluwatimi. Georgia Tech also fell into a motherload of studs with Will Anderson, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, Lad McConkey, Broderick Jones, Josh Downs, and Christopher Smith. And the final team Tan-Man is keeping an eye on for a big level up is the Pretty Dragons from UAB, adding Bo Nix, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Tez Johnson. Their coach has to be ecstatic. For week 1, playing in the country of beer, Nebraska has Max Duggan, the Kitty Cats have Charlie Jones, John Michael Schmitz, and Bucky Irving. This should be interesting. The Wildcats did pull this one out though in real life. It was their only win before Scott Frost got canned. Ooh, another close game in overtime. They throw underneath, turn up, and run through the defender for a touchdown. For the goal, we'll see what Magic Maximus has. They throw a slip screen, and yeah, don't like that at all. No idea what the mindset was there. The Cats take down the Corn Boys in week 1. Don't think it'll be the only win for the Fightin' Fitzgeralds this year. Week 2 is some very interesting matchups with Georgia Tech, Clemson, Florida, Utah, Georgia, Oregon, and Ohio State Notre Dame. Should be interesting. Tanner's most intrigued with this Bumblebee team. Adding all that they did, they may be able to pull this baby out. 2nd and 11 needs 7 ASAP as possible if you're a Bumblebee fan. They throw underneath in cockroaches. Yucky, that's unfortunate. McConkey and the Bumblebees let me down. Tanner wanted an upset. He never gets what he asked for. Maybe one day my wishes will come true. Gators beat Utah. Ohio State killed the Leprechauns and the Ducks. Quack, quack. Baby Cakes beat Georgia. Helps that they lost more players than any other team, though. On to week trace. Got Marshall against the Leprechauns, Kentucky against the Mean Gators, Pitt versus Tennessee, and Bama against Texas. Tanner wants nothing more than to relive the upset where Marshall went into South Bend and beat the Irish. Make it happen, universe. Yes, the Herd have a chance. Got to convert this 4th in Africa. They throw to the first down marker, and well, so much for that, man. On to another game with upset potential. Texas lost Bijan Robinson, but picked up Deuce Vaughn and Levi Bell. They got a shot here. Gonna need the mullet boy Quinn to pull off a miracle here. He drops back, and yes, sack. Dream's dead for the Longhorns. Well, even with losing some of the family, we learned that incest prevails as the Tide pick up the dub. Well, the Aggies beat Appalachian State. Another upset spoiled. Florida took down Kentucky, and Tennessee gave Pittsburgh the shaft, winning by 20. Week 4, Miami, Texas A&M should be a good game. Miami added some studs. Not really too many other great games this week, though, sadly. Miami's head on the road with Kalijah Kancey, Azir Abdullah, and Frank Gore Jr. Hope I didn't get your hopes up, Hurricane fans. Texas A&M starting out hot. Nebraska and Mad Max took down the Sooners. South Carolina pulled it off in overtime against Georgia. Washington won over Michigan State, and Penn State took down Auburn on the road. Not too much variance yet. Ohio State and Alabama leading the charge in the AP poll. Nothing too crazy yet, but gotta keep it out for Wake Forest with Hendon Hooker. They're certainly on the rise. Now, this is a game that gets Tanner tingly. Michigan against Maryland this week. Wisconsin, Ohio State, Clemson, and Wake also should be an awesome game as well. Heading to the big house to watch Caleb Williams and the new kids on the block taking on the Wolverines. Yeah, the Turtles won over Tanner's Wolverines. I miss Blake. Wake Forest and Hendon Hooker also took down Clemson. I'm sure they're going to surge in the AP poll after this impressive win. The Buckeyes squeaked out a win over Wisconsin. North Carolina without Drake May is somehow undefeated. Need Detective Blanc to look into that one. And the Vampire Piggies took down Texas A&M to halt their undefeated start to the season. Week 6 is upon us. Baylor's playing undefeated Oklahoma State at home. Georgia Tech gets a chance to upset Pitt. The Vampire Piggies are taking on #1 Alabama, and Wake Forest is playing Florida State. Super duper exciting week of games. Maybe most excitement for a potential upset here. No clue how Pitt is doing so well. Just one of the many mysteries so far. Yeah, the Bumblebees are up 7. Pitt's got to convert this here. They throw it down underneath, and they make the tackle short of the first down. Georgia Tech and their revitalized roster pull off the upset on the road over Pitt. Good job, McConkey. Now, Bama heads on the road to play Arkansas. Maybe another upset brewing here. Definitely disappointed if I was an Arkansas fan. Had a chance to be a great night, and it was crushed. Tanner can relate. Clemson got back in the win column, beating the Wolfpack. Rutgers pulls off the upset over Ohio State. Shocker there. Maryland clobbered Michigan State. Michigan gave Iowa the weenie. Some other good games as well. UCLA beat Washington. Was just an awesome week of games. Got a fun week 7. UCLA and CJ Stroud are going to be playing Utah. Also got Texas A&M playing Bama, who's still undefeated. Yeah, UCLA won. Not really surprised. Gonna have to be on the lookout for them in the Pac-12. They're dangerous. Alabama's been hanging on to that one spot, even without most of their best players. We'll see if Texas A&M can knock them off. I mean, they almost did in real life, but Jimbo called one of the plays his 4-year-old son drew up for fun. It was just doomed at the start. Well, Jimbo and the boys are playing really well. Jalen throws to the sideline. It's picked off. That'll be GG. The Aggies beat the Elephants on the road. Gamecocks picked up a win over Kentucky. Texas Tech beat undefeated Oklahoma State. Boston College thrashed Clemson, just not close at all. Georgia lost again, but their fans are used to winning. They'll survive. Arizona upset Oregon with Bajan. Maryland continues to put up crazy points every week, and Ohio State lost again, this time to the Spartans. Jordan Travis and Stetson Bennett are having a field day against lower competition, it looks like. Romo Dunze, I think that's French or something. I can't pronounce that, man. He's doing good at UNLV. We used to be at Washington, and Zay Flowers is a cool combo with Jordan Travis at Florida Atlantic. He's been balling out. Week 8 in the thick of the season, USC is playing Utah. Michigan is matched up with Penn State. Some other solid games as well, but those two piqued Tay-Man's interest. Here we go. Test for the Trojans on the road. They lost this bad boy in real life. We'll see if they can flip the script with Bryce Young and Clark Phillips. Gotta somehow convert this 4th and 16 if the Utes want to come out with a win. Rising drops back, throws in the middle. Yeah, don't get that at all. That'll be a stop for the Trojans. Young Bryce played great for USC, repping for the hometown as they won by 7 and hang on to first place in the Pac-12. Another awesome matchup in the big house. Michigan and Penn State. Not looking good for the Wolverines. Goodness, man. All these 4th and forevers. JJ throws deep to the sideline to receiver, and it falls incomplete. Someone had to come out undefeated, and that is going to be Penn State, picking up the win on the road. USC is leading the AP pool. Got Wake, Maryland, and Penn State behind them, as well as UCLA down there. And all the way at 24 is an undefeated UAB team. Got a solid slate for week 9. Aggies playing the Gamecocks, undefeated Wake playing Boston College, and a chance for UCLA to pick up a ranked road win. That game will be fun. Well, time to see if the Bruins are for real in this video, and if they can push USC for the Pac-12 title. Coming down to the wire, high stakes, lads. Ty Thompson drifts out of the pocket, throws in the traffic, and it falls incomplete. That was funky. UCLA is having fun. CJ's made some new friends, and he won player of the game. He balled out in the 7-point win over the Ducklings. Looking like the Aggies are playing well. That's a shocker. They won against the Gamecocks. Goodness, a murder. The Demon Deacons. I don't like that name. Demons are scary. Hendon Hooker doesn't seem to care. He went berserk in the big win over the Eagles. Oklahoma State beat Texas. UAB is keeping the magical season alive, and Bama beat Mississippi State. Blake. Leading the Heisman race. Caleb Williams is also in the top 5 for Maryland. Just an insane and unfair offense. Week Diaz. Undefeated Penn State is going to play Ohio State. Got Cincy against UCF. That's a fun group of 5 game. And Michigan State against Michigan. Well, the Wolverines won at home and take the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Love to see it. Now we got a Cincy team with Michael Mayer playing Jalen Carter and UCF. A tense game here. Their kicker has a chance to have the school build a statue of him. No pressure here, youngin. Well, that looks like it'll go through. Yeah, it will. Holy lasagna. That was easy for the kid. Great W for UCF. Probably going to be a partay tonight. Just make sure Tanner's invited. I'll bring the Oreos. Another 10 that's going to be rocking. Happy Valley playing Ohio State at home. Let's see if they can keep their undefeated season alive. Overtime game. This is arousing. Kyle gives to Mine, and he runs through the end zone for the touchdown to silence Happy Valley in the 30-27 road win for the Buckeyes. Looks like the Aggies lost to Ole Miss. Not a clue how UNC keeps winning without Drake May and Josh Downs, though. Georgia Tech lost again. Thought the Bumblebees had a shot to win some more. It just hasn't happened, man. Wake Forest and Miami are both leading their divisions, the ACC. That should be a super duper fun title game. Keeping an eye on a highly competitive Big Ten East, but the Turtles are leading the way as of right now. Also, 2 undefeated teams in the Pac-12 South. That UCLA-USC game should be unreal. Florida's leading the SEC East, and Bama is tied with Ole Miss in the West. The heat is certainly turning up. Florida State, Miami, Florida, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma State, Kansas, highlighting the Week 11 slate. Heading to Lawrence, Kansas, they've had a good year, hoping to keep it going, playing Oklahoma State. Another overtime game. Tanner's a fan of this. Spencer Sanders throws to the left side, and that's a touchdown for Pistol Pete and the Cowboys. Ooh, close game in Miami. Florida State is trying to pull off the upset. Their quarterback steps up, tries to get out of there. Not today. Sack for the win. And the Miami fans are ecstatic. I'm sure they'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings and live it up. Party time. The Sooners lost to Baylor. Texas A&M beat Florida. Syracuse beat Pitt. LSU upset Bama, and UAB keeps the dream alive with the win over UTSA. USC, Wake, Maryland, and UCLA lead the AP pool. Also got UAB down there at 6th, which is very intriguing. Wake Forest and UNC facing off for Week 12. Same with Maryland and Penn State. 2 very important games with playoff implications. Here it is. Big time matchup. Maryland is heading on a road to Happy Valley to play the Lions. Penn State's a 3-point lead. They're in striking distance. A touchdown here, and it's game over for the Turtles. Clifford throws in the middle. It's a touchdown to Keandre Lambert-Smith. Yeah, Turtles are dead, man. Clifford, the big red puppy dog, played phenomenal in the 10-point win over Maryland. Now for our other big time game this week, we got the Mean Demons against the Tar Heels. Looks like there's another upset brewing here. Wake needs to recover their onside, and yeah, that didn't happen. Still, I'm struggling to understand how UNC is doing so well without Drake May and Josh Downs. We need Scooby-Doo in the gang. Bama beat Ole Miss. Iowa State spanked Oklahoma State. Miami barely escaped from Georgia Tech, and Washington beat Oregon to cap off Week 12. Got some interesting games this week. Tanner's keeping an eye out for Wake Forest, Syracuse, Ohio State, Maryland, and the big boy, UCLA, USC. That'll be quite the showdown. Tanner cannot wait. Feel like Taylor Swift just released a new album? Let's get it rolling, baby. Of course, it's an overtime. Wouldn't want it any other way. Bryce Young drops back and stays patient. Hits an open receiver in the back of the end zone to take the lead. Stroud needs to answer here on 4th down. They throw underneath. Yucky decision. That won't get a first down. Tons of happiness from the Trojans in the 7-point win over UCLA. Another big time game. Maryland welcomes Ohio State at home. Should be an offensive battle. At midfield, tied up. Caleb is a man with a dream. He sets the pocket and throws deep down the middle. Hits an open receiver. He runs into the end zone for a touchdown. What a crazy finish finish for the Turtles to keep their playoff hopes alive. Put up or shut up time for the Pretty Dragons on the road against LSU. Let's see if they have it. Yeah, they didn't have it. LSU took them to town and showed them who's papa. UNC again wins over Georgia Tech. Just shocking. Texas beat Kansas. The Hurricanes slapped around Clemson and some other scores from this past week as well. Week 14 has arrived and there's no shortage of big-time matchups for the last week of the regular season. Miami's playing Pitt at home. Of course, the Iron Bowl with Bama and Auburn. And finally, the game with Michigan and Ohio State. First off, Bama against Auburn. Iron Bowl time. A close game that Alabama pulled out by just one at home. Next, we got Michigan taking on Ohio State. Hope they can replicate what happened in real life because Donovan Edwards, he is still running, baby. That's depressing. Come on, JJ, make match gap. And he steps up. Yeah, just no clue what we're doing there. SMH my head. I don't want to talk about it. The Beavers took down Oregon. Finally, someone beat North Carolina and some other games from around the country as well. Here's the AP Bowl before the conference championship games. USC is at the top. Only undefeated team left hanging. Penn State, Maryland, Miami, and Wake Forest round out the top 5. Great matchups for this week. Lots of high-stress games going on. No pressure, young lads. Probably the highest state game is Wake Forest playing the Hurricanes. We'll see if Hendon Hooker can win the ACC title. So far, so good. They're taking the Hurricanes to the woodshed. Hendon keeps the read option. Has a clear path to the end zone for a touchdown. Hendon Hooker is certainly a happy camper as the Demon Deacons hoist up the ACC title and have a very solid case for the playoff. USC beat Washington into submission. No question the best team in college football right now. They won the Pac-12 title. The final game with playoff implications is Penn State playing Purdue. Must-win game for the Nittany Lions. Yikes, things are getting dicey. Aiden drops back, steps up, and gets hit and it falls incomplete. Final results for the conference championship week. The SEC sabotaged themselves. I don't think Bama has a shot with 2 losses. Hendon Hooker led the NCAA in passing yards, got Bryce Stetson and Caleb on there as well. Zach Charbonnet from UCLA is your Heisman Trophy winner. Hendon Hooker finished in second place with Blake falling all the way to 5. This was tough, man. I felt like this final AP poll was alright. Probably should move UAB down, but Tanner had a hard time between Maryland and UCLA. But I went with the Turtles. They had better wins and a tougher schedule. So it's Trojans versus Turtles, Demons versus Nittany Lions. Make your pick. I'm gonna go Penn State and USC. Before half, Wake is up 4. The big red puppy drops back and delivers to the left side of the field to a wide open receiver. That's Parker Washington. He's a fast cougar. He'll go to the end zone to take the lead. Just 2 seconds before half, Wake is looking for a miracle here. Hendon launches deep downfield. It's in the air and it's caught. Oh my goodness. Mighty unfortunate end of the half for Penn State. Tied up with 2 seconds left at midfield. Gonna need a prayer to be answered here. Clifford lofts in the air. It floats in the air forever. They came down with it. Oh my goodness. Keandre Lambert-Smith. Wild ending to say the least. I'm just a shocked butterfly right now, man. 2 Hail Marys. This game, I don't know, dude. I don't know what to say. I'm just befuddled. Maryland is up 3 early on against the Trojans. Caleb throws to the left side. It's completed to Octavian Smith for a touchdown to get a 2-score lead. Trojans need to answer here. Bryce drops back, looking around and throws to Mario Williams to the left side for a touchdown. Got the lead back and the ball. USC is getting some momentum. Bryce throws underneath and it's picked off. Oh my goodness, what a play! He's gonna get a pick 6 to get the Turtles back on top. Bryce has a chance of scoring at the lead and secure the dub. He drops back and throws in the end zone and it's picked off. The Turtles are gonna escape and pull off the upset over USC. It's a Big Ten East showdown. The new and improved Turtles taking on Penn State. Down at the goal line, Maryland looking to score. Caleb keeps the read option, runs into the end zone for a touchdown. Looking awfully good so far for Maryland. Back at the goal line, Caleb throws in the end zone. It's caught by Dante Demas for another touchdown. Clifford isn't giving up. He's a proud puppy. He throws to the left side underneath to Brennan Strange, and he turns up into the end zone to give him a chance. Yeah, isn't looking good at all for the Nittany Lions. Sean throws to the right side, and yeah, it's picked off. Turtles are going to be national champs with Coach hoisting up the natty. Can a coach become the GOAT over Nick Saban? If you want to find out, click the video on the screen where Tanner tried to become the new GOAT of college football.